All right, Lindsay, what's in your lens today?
Yeah, let's get to it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on The View yesterday saying what a lot of Americans are feeling about our recent actions in Venezuela.
Militarily invading a country, killing people in the process, arresting their leader and taking him out, and then claiming this is for the Venezuelan people and saying all the charges are about drugs, but then turning around and literally every single statement is about Venezuelan oil and how it belongs to America, which I don't quite understand that. I believe it belongs to Venezuela. It's not working.
On top of that, if this were supposed to be the turning point for Venezuela, the moment repression finally loosened its grip, that's not what's happening on the ground. In fact, the opposite is actually true. Nicolas Maduro is gone, but the system that kept him in power is very much alive, and right now it's flexing. This is the uncomfortable truth. Removing a strong man is not the same as dismantling a regime. And what we're watching unfold in Venezuela exposes this dangerous gap, a lack of clear, coherent, long-term plan from the international community, especially from the United States, for what comes after this intervention. Because while President Trump talks about running Venezuela, Venezuelans are living through something far more familiar, and that's fear. According to the New York Times, security forces are boarding buses, setting up checkpoints, and searching people's phones in Venezuela. Journalists are currently being detained. Citizens are being interrogated for something as simple as celebrating. One human rights advocate putting it plainly, telling the Times, quote, they went through people's phones, opening their WhatsApp and typing in keywords like invasion or Maduro or Trump in your chats to see if you were celebrating Maduro's arrest. That's not liberation. What makes this moment especially jarring is that all of this is happening while the U.S. is backing the very government carrying out this crackdown. The same security and intelligence apparatus that propped up Maduro is still intact. I mean, his vice president is now the president. 4 days after President Trump said the United States would run Venezuela, daily life has grown more dangerous for people, not freer. The interim leader, Delcy Rodriguez, made one thing clear on Tuesday, saying, quote, the government of Venezuela runs our country, no one else. And yet U.S. officials appear super confident that she'll fall in line. Oil deals are announced. Geopolitical rivals are quietly pushed out. Democracy, human rights, those conversations, by the president's own admission, haven't happened yet. When asked by reporters, he said, quote, we haven't gotten to that yet. He's more concerned about the oil. There's no visible plan for stabilization, no roadmap for rebuilding institutions, no clear strategy for protecting civil liberties once the cameras move on from Venezuela. Instead, success hinges on the Venezuelan military, the same force deeply entangled in repression, to somehow become the solution. And the democratic opposition, fractured, sidelined, and unprepared to govern if power shifts suddenly. That vacuum is really dangerous. History tells us exactly how that story ends. What we're seeing now is a government acting with confidence, not caution. Freddy Guevara, a Venezuelan ex-congressman and member of Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Machado's coalition, warned the New York Times, quote, it shows these people are believing that Trump is playing around and they can do whatever they want. And they are. Mass militias are back on the streets. State television airs loyalty rallies. Armed forces chant, quote, always loyal, never traitors. Doubting is betrayal. I mean, we arrested an illegitimate leader and removed him from his country and have no intent to try to build their democracy. You don't secure freedom by negotiating oil first and rights later. And you don't call it a plan if the people most affected are more afraid today than they were yesterday. Maduro may be gone, but without a coherent vision for what comes next, Venezuela is still trapped.
It's true, and I'm increasingly worried this is a missed opportunity to bring about a friendlier regime, one in line with what the people of Venezuela actually want. The people of Venezuela want freedom from what Maduro represents, and Delcy Rodriguez is cut from the exact same cloth, is every bit as repressive. I was learning more about her own origin story. She is corrupt and has overseen political persecutions. This is not a kind of woman I really want to do business with. Now, sometimes we have to do business with unsavory people in parts of the world where we just have no choice. I'm not for regime change overall. I'm not for nation building. But this is a nation that was hungering for independence from communist tyranny, socialist tyranny. And it does feel like a bit of a missed opportunity.
And at the same time, it's nuanced because a lot of people don't want to be involved in Venezuela, but since the president already took the dramatic action that a lot of people look at as an act of war to take the president out of the country, well, now what the plan after that has to look like something that makes sense for all the people that are not only celebrating how seamless the mission was, but also looking at the Americans that are Venezuelan that are here celebrating and acknowledging how good it is for them. But then it's like, oh, well, people's phones are getting searched. The military over there is acting a fool. 80% of the country is still repressed, so we don't care about that. We're just talking about the oil. But yeah, also, Maduro was so bad we got him in jail.
It's like we only went halfway. Like we chose a half measure. Have you ever seen Breaking Bad? This great speech that Mike gives to Walter about half measures.
Yes.
I chose a half measure, Walter, when I should have gone all the way. I'll never make that mistake again.
Right.
I am worried we are making the mistake that ultimately that character actually does make again with respect to Walter White. Love that show. Anyway,
we
may regret
long term.
If we shouldn't have, maybe we shouldn't have done this at all. But given that we did do it, why stop here? Is the question.
Right.
Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's BFF.
She had a wide-ranging interview on The View. Yeah. Everything from saying January 6th.
They sure love her now.
Yeah, this is very nice. And coming the day after Jasmine Crockett, I thought was quite clever of them, as Jasmine Crockett called her a coward, but also said give her grace.
MTG's second time on The View in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're best friends now. They talked about January 6th, too.
They did.
Marjorie Taylor Greene changed her opinion of that whole thing.
She did change her perspective a bit. She kind of, I'm sure you saw it going around on Twitter. She kind of said, Sonny asked her multiple times, so you said the day of the 6th that you believe this is Antifa. Do you still think that? And she was like, well, obviously I didn't have all the information then. Mm-hmm. And so my perspective has developed. And so a lot of the conversation, she still believes that the president is not in the wrong. She pointed out the same things that he pointed on his site, that he said peacefully, which is part of what he said. He said multiple
I've said
things.
That too. He did not
incite the riot according to them, but he did all the things that said fight like hell and a bunch of other things. So it's all about interpretation. But whether or not he should be labeled as the person who caused this whole thing, maybe that's extreme for some people, but Marjorie Taylor Greene surely has, and I like that Sonny called her the new you. How does the new you feel about January 6th? How does the new you? And she's like, I'm not new, I'm the same person.
This is a well-established phenomenon that the right has called attention to. It's the strange new respect phenomenon, where someone becomes a darling, a beloved figure to the mainstream media the second there's someone who starts calling out,
like Liz Cheney,
Trump, like Liz Cheney, like so many other. I mean, you can get. She's this close, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She could be a contributor to CNN. She could be anchoring an MSNBC show too.
She would have a good show, probably. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it happens all the time.
I think that there has to be some flexibility of thought, right? A lot of people argue that Marjorie Taylor Greene still is a conservative. I mean, she says she's standing by a lot of the values, and perhaps maybe Trump moved the party from what he promised. And so if you still feel like she's arguing for the same people, those 4 House members who went against the Republican Party and went against Speaker Johnson and said, we're going to push forward the vote on ACA subsidies today. I mean, she will be considered in the same vein as them. You can't call everybody a rhino just because they're thinking about their constituents and thinking about re-election. Maybe that wasn't Marjorie Taylor Greene's incentive. I thought it was all about re-election, but since she's retiring, that's not. Maybe she really is just trying to put people over party, and that has to be okay without saying that somebody's just a straight up Democrat or Republican or in a new party.
Coming up, the old food pyramid you may remember from school. I certainly do. It's been flipped on its head, literally. We'll look at the new dietary guidelines. I think they're a lot better, that are being put forth by RFK Jr. and the Trump administration.